Hi, welcome to my Boss Capital channel. This is Michael Chu. You can reach me at the support email right here. And this is a video to talk about the top 50 stocks on my list. Roughly, there's lots of movement. We are more than a month now into, almost a month now into this small to mid cap rally, and that's where most of the stocks on my list are related to. Yeah, and before we start, all materials here are shown for informational purpose only. I'm not a registered investment professional, and we're using market search from Master's Basics Daily. Okay, so yeah, here we have the industry group and the sector, and then here we have the stocks, and here we have the daily 3-month relative strength. And then here's the weekly close relative strength, and then we have the price performance, and this is based on around July 3rd to current day. And yeah, and we're gonna try to highlight certain groups that are showing strength as well, and then hopefully you'll be able to see the ones I'm trading right now and how I'm trading them. But before we jump into this list, just wanted I kind of missed talking in the market recap video where the strengths are. So if you follow Investors Business Daily, they did put market under pressure at 40 to 60% allocation as well. We saw 2 days of distribution on Nasdaq, Wednesday and Thursday, and I think this one of the comments wrong. But anyhow, yeah, but we can see that S&P at 6 and 7 distribution day, and we had Nasdaq 3 now, and then we still saw a lot of accumulation throughout the week except for Wednesday, which was a big reversal. But Thursday and Friday, accumulation came back up, and on the industry group side, it looks very similar. So the number of industry groups being accumulated is still higher than what's being distributed. And then from the sector side, like we track these 6 sectors, technology not doing well. You can see by the end of the week is negative. Retail turned slightly positive by the end of the week, but still under a lot of selling here. Industrials are doing really well. It closed at a high. Health as well, going close at the high on the week, and commodities are not doing so well either. And financials are the strongest. You can see the numbers are just spectacular, and it has been like that, even for the previous 2.5 weeks, for the 1.5 weeks, and then now. Yeah, so financials is where you see the strongest, strength. And we highlight that in the market recap video, regional banks, and then other subgroups. So now I'm going to jump back to my list here, and let's look at from sector perspective. Since now we know that financials are the strongest, let's start with financials. And the one that always been following that quite a bit is the building, residential, commercial. It's not at the top, but it's well, actually MHO here, yeah, number 4. We have DFH also in that group, so that also doing well. CCS, I think some of them reported too. I think CCS might have reported. KBH, TPH, I think that is it. So that's like, yeah, those 5. There's other residential, but those are building developers, but they might have negative earnings, so it's not on my list. So I only follow stocks that have like more positive, like usually above 15% quarter to quarter yearly based growth. And yeah, so let's look at MHO as the first one here. This group, really strong. It might be you can see how strong it is. Like it looks a little bit extended. I didn't add to it on Friday. It's near the 20% mark now from this breakout right here. You know, I've been adding it since down here, and the 10-day slope very important. It hasn't even come close to touching it, but it does look a little bit extended right now. So you know, so we'll see. I might take, you know, sell a little bit this coming week, early this week, depending on how the market moves. And that's the general too for most of the stocks, because some of them are starting to look a little bit extended. They're not parabolic like but it is moving a little bit away from the 10-day moving average slope. So it doesn't, you know, they're generally, you know, and then it could go sideways. That's the best as the 10-day comes up, and then it can continue its move, right? So here's the 10-day right here. So it comes up here, and this just moves sideways, or even just a little bit down without touching it. Even if it touches, okay, but generally, you know, the best stock don't touch it. And then the bounce right here again, you know, and you know, yeah. So that'll be the best case scenario. So that's MHO. Let's go back to other ones. The DFH, I believe this reported this week. Let me see. No, it hasn't yet. 4 days still, but it did come out from this little consolidation here, and still, you know, this is, and still really deep in the base. But the trend line looks good. It, you know, it touched the 10-day and then it bounced off right here on that day. I don't like Friday's close. It's closed at the bottom, but sometimes that's okay because, you know, it's trying to stay closer to the 10-day, right? So so I still, you know, I don't discount that as negative. I just say okay, it still closed higher, right? Yeah, and so that's that one. So that one just came on my list, and then you have CCS, KBH. So let's look at CCS first. So this one, you know, based on base pattern, that's the traditional pie point. Here's the lower entry points, and it's just starting to break out. So this one is the early stage if you're just looking from the breakout perspective. And here's the slope line. They're pretty sharp. They're probably like 55-degree angle, close to 60. Then we have KBH. This one, you know, also pretty strong slope right there. Yeah, so you know, you see they have a recent pullback right here. You know, you have a 4 or 5 day run here. It's very similar to how the index performing on the Russell. So we move up 5 days strong, pull back, and then now it bounced again, right? Then we have TPH, high point homes. This one is out quite a bit now. Low entry right there, traditional buy point right there. And this one is very strong too. It did come close to the 10-day right there on Thursday, but it still looked pretty good. Yeah, it did close at the lower range on Friday, but again, that's okay. It made a new high. You know, as long as it doesn't, you know, drop really hard, follow through on the next day. So Monday will be crucial. We'll see. But yeah, it's been moving up in a nice pace, now 13%. So generally, you know, we try to target around 20% on the rally, and we'll see if that happens. But you can see the lines here represent my stop points. I'm moving it up as it goes, so you know, I don't want to give back too much of the gains. But at the same time, you know, I'm looking at the risk-reward ratio to try to, you know, go for more gains here. So that's that. So the resident building commercial are very strong. Obviously we also talk about this in the market recap. You know, all the regional banks. You know, you have Bank Northeast, TMP. I'll talk about TBBK because they did report it this week. And the chart is phenomenal. Like I don't know how to say it. Like if you look at this run right here. I mean, look at the blue days. Those are all the up days. There's one red day here. There's another red day here. And there's another red day here. 3 days in like, I don't know, close to 30 sessions. That's a lot of accumulation. Yeah, and so this is incredible stock to me. It did have a, you know, early negative reaction on Friday due to the earnings, but it bounced back. So this was a short first 15 minutes drop here, and then it bounced back really strong, like really fast. So that's good because it's shaking out all the, because obviously some people who bought earlier, they may have got shaken out, you know, they took that profit or whatever. But luckily I didn't get shaken out. It did undercut the 10 days right there. So I got lucky because I didn't move my stop. That's another thing. This is an art when it comes to moving the stop. There's no like right or wrong answer. It's just a matter of, you know, how you want to deal with that. For me, I usually move my stop when I see a low being tested. That's generally the concept I follow. So for example, on Friday I see this stop low here being tested, and then it rebound, and that's when I move my stop, because now it shouldn't come back to this low, is what I'm trying to say, right? Because it's been tested. So now it's safe to put a stop. If it comes back again, that tells me that there's something wrong. Like sometimes it will get tested twice before it moves, and that's okay. I'm willing to take that. I'll just buy it back if I want to. And then I'll look at the general market conditions as well, right? So, but for a specific stock, I always like kind of look at it individually and kind of see where it's been tested, you know, and then move that stock up. So that's how I kind of try to stay in the stock and still move my stops up. And you know, if I come back down here, then at least, you know, I have some gains as I move up my stops, right? I won't have the, and then I'll talk about offensive selling in a second. I think there's a couple of stocks I sold some position to take some profit because they went up too fast, too much. So that's TBBK, TMP here. Tree, this is in the financial mortgage area, so moving up nicely. LB, Bank Southwest. I can't remember if this one reported. Let me just take a quick look here. It might have reported. Yes, it did. Okay, so this one reported. Yeah, it has a nice day, Thursday. Again, it may have tested the previous day low that day. So I can't. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't look like it. Let me see here. The gap. Yeah, it gap up on Thursday. So there's a small gap up, not a lot. And then look at the second 15 minute. It came back down, but it didn't test the previous day's low. Well, it did. It tested it, but it didn't break below it. So even that is a strong sign already. My stop is probably around here. So yeah. So it looks good. Yeah, my stop is 4 days ago. Usually my stop is near the 10-day moving average as well. So that's usually something I also look at. I like to give it around 4 days, and I also like to give it around near the 10 days. So yeah. So now you can see it's near the 10-day again. So yeah. So this one is still looking very sharp. It hasn't even broke out from the main base yet. So looks good. I like buying stocks in the base on the right side as it comes back up, because you know, if you follow IBD style, they generally buy on the traditional buy point. But for me, I like to buy on the break of above the downtrend line as an early entry, and I just add to it as it goes. It just tells me, you know, where it is, because you know, a general rule of thumb for how much you want to gain is look at a base. I'll go to weekly chart for a second. This is a very deep base. It's a 34%. Now I don't expect it to go up 34% on the other side. So if the base is 34%, you know, the general rule of thumb is you want to see the same gains on the other side. So it will go, once it passes this high, it will go up 34%, right? That's just general rule of thumb, but it doesn't always happen, obviously. Sometimes it'll be less, sometimes it'll be more, right? But because this is 30%, so IBD rules most likely around 20-25% profit zone. You see it marks there, which is right there. But again, based on experience, you can decide for yourself how you want to play that, when you want to take profit. So let me come back to here. And now, so in another mortgage related consumer loans, ENVA doing well. Yeah, these are all doing well. Like, I'm not going to go through all of them, otherwise we'll be here for an hour. But AX is another one here. You can see they all have closing on the week strong, so they're all closing on the high side. Most of them, you know, usually above 50% on the closing range. That's where I consider it closing high. Yeah, and then virtual. Let me see. Again, more regional banks, MBIN. Oh, here's another residential that came on my list. TMHC. Then we have more regional banks, FBP, IBOC, Banks West Southwest. Another financial. This is also another hot area, financial investment management, TBG. Let's just quickly take a look at that group as well, or this stock. So yeah, you can see on the weekly chart, it break out from the trend line down here, has shot up. Here's the 20% mark from the breakout. So still a long way to go. So yeah, so I wouldn't, you know, again, if it's not acting well, yeah, it's gonna hit my stop anyway, because that's my defensive sell rule. But you know, generally, I'm looking at to gain at least 20 to 25%. So we still have a way to go. 8% right now from the pivot. Okay, so let me come back here. ABCB and our regional bank. Insurance is another stronger group. They have done well this week. So they're coming up the chart as well, and now it's ranked 50. So JXN is one of them. Insurance diversify. Let's look at that one. So Jackson Financial. So here's the low entry point. Here's the traditional buy point. So it's up 8% as well. So so far from the pivot here. So it's moving up nicely, hitting new highs on Friday. So a lot of them are all the financial, a lot of the small caps financials are all hitting new highs on Friday. ABCB, oh yeah, I think I already talked about that. COOP, this one also came up this week. TCBX, more insurance, KNSL, another insurance BWIN. There's a REIT here. I haven't seen too many REITs show up on my list. A lot of them had negative earnings, that's why. But it might be moving, this group. Let me see. I think this one reported, SLG reported. Let's see. Yeah, it reported. So it's okay, the chart. It's you know, it broke out here and then it fell, came back up, and then now we have like a higher breakout point right here, buy point. So it's very choppy though, this stock, you know. So this is in the REIT section area. You have MC, so there's investment brokers, more yeah, that group is, like I said, it's also doing well. So let's look at that. MC and EVR. I don't think I have either of this stock. This one just came on this week. So here's a pullback. So this was a nice run right here, really fast run. Like that's many days of up days, and then it pulled back, and then now it's bouncing. Like Thursday was a strong day on the earnings right there. So I missed this one. I missed on that day at least, and I wasn't tracking this, so I also missed on Friday. I didn't have a chance to buy this. And then the other one's EBR. Again, these are all small caps, right? Like much smaller companies. So this one, wow, look at this. Also same thing. Ran up pretty fast, you know, to the 20% mark, and then pulls back, and then this one also reported on Thursday. So and then it makes new high. So again, okay. So this one I have. You can see my marks here. I do have this. Yeah. So it looks pretty good. You know, I don't know how much higher it can go. This is quite extended from the buy point already, but because of how fast it runs, there could be another leg. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. We'll see. Yeah. So that group is also moving up on the list, and then you have more investment here. FTAI, yeah, this one also reported. So that's the thing. They're all reporting good numbers, and they're all jumping on the good numbers. So that's exactly what you want to see. This one, yeah, I don't have it because it's already ran so much, you know, and I find it really hard to buy You know, I like buying it more when it's in the base or breaking out of base during a rally. But because this is already so extended, like even though we have this huge pullback, and now it make new high, technically I should buy, but like I say, it's quite extended, like from, you know, you can tell from the 200-day line. It could still have room to run. You don't know how far it will run, but it's just, I'd rather look at other guys. I'll also in that group too. Well, yeah. So now we're getting to the 100, like near the 100 zone. So there's still quite a bit. So yeah, this group is definitely dominating most of the top 100 for sure. So let's jump to our next group. So let's go backward a little bit to the health sector. So we'll skip commodities for now. We'll go from the strongest to the weakest. So health. Surprising health, like, you know, like one group that really jumped this week was the hospitals group. These are not small caps though. These are bigger. So EHS, Universal Health. Let me see. Yeah, I mean it's still small. Like 14. Okay, it's not that small. So yeah, so you can see that big jump right here this week on earnings. The only problem with this kind of chart is that it jumps so much on one day. I still got into it because it's like a breakout, and the 20% zone is there. It's just that you're not gonna, if it does go up to 20%, you're not gonna make that 20%, right? Because you're not buying at the low here. So unless you bought it before it break out, which I didn't. Because this stock wasn't performing even before that. But this whole group moved because of earnings. They show really good earnings. THC, this one, they reported not this week, but a week ago, right? Or maybe they did report this week, or early in the week. Okay, so this one, I was able to get in before the earnings because of it was already moving, I believe. Yeah. So I got it the day before, and then the day on earnings was also the gap up. But now you can see it now is rising, right? And the 10 days right here. It doesn't want to come back down to 10-day, and that's a good sign. So I'll be, and because it's just broken now, I'll be adding to this as it moves. So that's a good one. So anyhow, that was one group that definitely jumped out. Here's HCA, that's also another one. So they're rising here. Again, you can see there's lots of health stocks in the top 100, like as much as the financial. And a lot of them are biotechs, and I've been talking about that. This one is the most recent one that jumped on some news, a lot. It wasn't on my list, some news. Again, I don't want to talk about, I don't know the whole news. It was reported with some drop or something. Anyhow, it has pulled back since the 10-day line looks like this right now, the slope. It hasn't come back to it, which is a good sign, so I'm watching this. But it has jumped a lot, right? You can say that's a lot of percentage. From even though it come back, it's still up 400%. So something to watch out for, maybe even research if you want to play the biotech group. But the other ones in the biotech group is like APGE, VKTX. So this is the weight loss. They also have news this week. They're doing some monthly injections for weight loss. So this is a nice chart right here, because it broke out of this long-term trend line as well as the 50-day line, and all the short-term average is all at this converging at this point. So that's a nice entry point to me. And then Friday, I add a little bit more. So here's the slope line right now. We'll see how it reacts near this 10-day as it comes up. So VKTX, obviously has a nice run here, and they're competing with Lilly and Novartis, which are the big guys. And this is, let me see how big this is. 7 billion. So it's starting to become a mid cap. Yeah. So we'll see. But it is a deep correction. There's no doubt about it. But now it looks like clear that trend line, and we'll see if it start rising. And then the other one is APGE. So this one also have a huge correction after this big run, 1 week run here, and that's the thing with biotech, right? They can move up or down so much. So if you play this group, definitely need to have risk management rules in place. Otherwise, you could lose. On bad news, you could lose a lot. But it can also go up really fast. So this one is kind of trading really tight. Hasn't make it's near the high of the close, but it hasn't really quite take off from this little consolidation. But this is after a big run, so you expect some sort of consolidation. So that looks really nice. It hasn't give up much of the gains from here. So now we expect it to break out. MNMD continue to do well. TERN. So you can see all this relative high strength. MIRM, BMY, Bristol Myers. So some of the bigger cap health, really moved this week. So that also tells me something about that sector, right? Like they're reporting good earnings. Look at this one. Reporting good earnings, break away from a long-term trend like 200-day moving average, gap up, and just never even come back to the 200-day. Look at that. Now, it doesn't mean it won't next week. It might come back down. But anyhow, it's just like this is a very long-term downtrend. It tries here and fails. So this also gives me confidence now because it couldn't do it here, but it was able to do it here so easily. And then, like I said, this earnings was really good. And yeah, 100 billion cap. So, like I said, something is happening with the health sector. I saw this week. And it's not the strongest, like not stronger than financial, but it's definitely moving, And then you still have like LNTH, ASTH is another one that's also moving up. So let's take a quick look at this. It didn't close at the high. You can see it came back down, but it's still an uptrend, right? So this is the breakout, and here's the 10-day moving average. So it hasn't even come close to touching it. I don't have a position on this, but yeah, I miss it a couple of times, but it looks pretty good still. Yeah, again, the biotech group's definitely the most volatile in this area. NNOX, INDV, RNA, right? That's in the biotech. VYGR, PNTG. So that's the long-term care. This is there's a couple of long-term care packs in that one. So that also, and then there's also managed care as well, MOG-A. So those ones also doing well this week. I think some of them reported. I'm pretty sure MOH did. Let's look at that one. Again, same thing. Look very similar. Long-term downtrend break. Above it, and then follow through on Friday with the close. Very strong. Volume is picking up. This is a really good sign of a turn, right? And this is a deep base. So that's another thing, right? Like you have less risk when they break out from the downtrend line on the base, because it has so much room to go up. So that's that. UNH here. Yeah, lots of good stocks in this area. Obviously, like I said, biotech definitely most of this at the top. So that's health. Let's jump to the next sector. It was industrial. It's doing okay too. So you can see lots of highs. So we have HRI in the listing, LPX. Now there's only around 15 stocks in the top 100 here. So it doesn't move as fast as the financial and the biotechs or the health, some of the health. But it's a steady one, right? This is a steady sector. They move more steadily. LPX, LPX is in the transport group. Oh no, sorry, the wood products group. Yeah, this is wood products. Sorry. So building group basically, and it broke out right here. Nice earnings. 10 more days and we'll report the next one. So we'll see how this home building. As we know, we already saw, right, the home building group is doing well, but this is the product side. So looking very strong. Yeah, it's coming to the 20% mark soon. So that's LPX, CWCO on the water supply, PNR, machinery, general industrial, FSS, security. There's a couple of security. This one didn't do as well, although, but this one, FSS, I do own this one. Let's just take a look at this. We have this run breakout right here, pull back, and this one pull back another time right here to 10-day, So it's not as clean as, like, say, other financial group for sure, but it does find support at the 10-day, and still a little bit away from the 20% profit zone. Hawken in the chemicals, aerospace. You see quite a bit of aerospace here. They're a pretty strong group right now in this area, in this sector. So let's take a look. MOG-A is one. Some of them reported as well this week, like MOG-A. This one hasn't reported 5 days, so we'll see how it goes. But it basically break out, nice tight pattern, breakout, and then pull back 3 days, and then now it's on the uptrend again. And then look at all these lows here. It doesn't want to touch the 10-day, so that's a good sign to me. So that's, and then the next one is NOC. This is a bigger one, and you know, the chart doesn't look as nice, but they also break the long-term downtrend. Goes up, fall through the next day, so that's good. Lots of volume. Yeah, it looks really good. But this, like I said, this group is moving in general. So that's that. Then we have lower ERJ. So that one, those two didn't close at the highs, but that's still make a new high on that day. So yeah, that's that. And then what else we have here? Building heavy construction. So there's a couple here. Road is another one, right? So yeah, and then we have more transportation, TRN, FTDR on the building side, commercial advertising, crypto, electrical power equipment, generic. Yeah, let's take a look, because IBD live did talk about this stock. So it's a nice pattern, nice tight pattern, cup. It's forming a high handle here, and now it's moving again. So I got stop out right here. But yeah, it looks like it wants to move again. You know, we'll see. If it breaks out right here, 160, looks really good. So that's that one. And yeah, so there's, you know, with SLVM and containers packaging, and then transportation, ARCB, and you have machinery, general industrial, ZWS, KNF, building, cement, and then so we'll stop it there. Let's look at commodities. So I highlighted machinery equipment group, really strong this week. FTAI, BKR, NOV, GTLS. You can see they all hit highs and new highs as well on relative strength. So let's just look at NOV. Like GTLS, I think I got stopped out from a intraday drop. Yeah. So here you go. So it's trying to bounce back. It closed at the bottom, so I'm not sure about that. But let's look at NOV. So here's the earnings. So it looks good. It didn't close around near the slightly below the halfway range, but it's still okay. But the whole group is moving. So whenever you see whole group is moving, I always have more confidence. So that's good. BKR. Let's look at that one. So yeah, so here's the group right here. Hit new high on breakout. So it's trying to break out right now. A little bit choppy though, right? You can see how it pulls back. And this is probably a bigger cap, bigger here. And then for FTI, this is the smaller guy. Nice, like, yeah, you know, I got shaken out. Yeah, I got shaken out right here, and it did bounce back and make new highs. So yeah, it looks good. So yeah, sometimes you can get shaken out, and then you can decide whether you want to buy back in or not. But unfortunately, it's going to happen when you have tight stops. So that's that. Okay, let's start from the top. Like that was the most obvious good that went up. There's lots of the steel. There's a couple of steel here. CRS, USAP. So CRS reported this week and shot up nicely right here. So this is one where, you know, here's the base breakout, and this one I bought pretty early, and yeah, so I have quite a good gain on this one, probably my best gain. And then it jumped past here, 25% mark on the breakout zone. And that's where I took some offensive selling. Now it looks like, it closed that day in the middle. Yeah, so here's the range here. Here's the gap up. And it closed like right here, right? So slightly, yeah, so, this is where it closed. So it's slightly, more than halfway range. Still looks good. And then the next day it started to rebound as well, so that looks even better. So yeah, this is looking good. Now obviously the 10-day now slope looks like this. It's much sharper, 60-degree angle. Yeah, I'm not sure about add to this just because it's now extended. Probably it's unlikely I'll add to it anymore just because it's quite extended. It could run though, this stock. Just want to say that because it's just acting so strong. So sometimes you do offensive selling. You take whatever gains you have. Half the time it's gonna work out that way. Half the time it's gonna keep running. And but that's why you still have 50% of your. I sold 50% as my offensive selling rule. Mark Munawini, a lot of times he sells 75% if he thinks it's a little bit overheated, like quite overheated. So everyone has different rule. It's up to you how you want to manage that. Because there's always, every day you can make, incremental decision, right? It's like, but Friday is obviously another strong closing day. So generally I would buy, but because it's this extended, I wouldn't buy. So I'll just let it run. See how that goes. But yeah, if it keep going up, much faster, yeah, I'll be selling more and eventually just get out of it. OII, oil gas field service, you can see some of them here. This is SLB, bigger guy. OIS, I don't remember how big OII is. But they're moving on earnings. See, look at that. So they're already coming up. I missed this, so actually I got shaken out right here. And but then earnings came in and then it just shot up, but I didn't buy into it. So we look at the weekly chart. It looks really good. So yeah, you can see, there's not many in the 100, right? There's only 5 stocks in the top 100 list. But just highlighting what group is showing some strength. You can see also energy alternative other is moving as well. Like there's quite a few of them up here. So Rex, MNTK, those didn't hit new high. It did hit a high on the day though. It just closed lower. And then we have CWAN and GEV. So GEV is something probably more people follow because it's from GE. So let's take a quick look at this one. So yeah, so it got undercut right here. Really, this was a nice uptrend, and then it broke that last week, right, a week ago. So right here, it broke this. Earnings came out, and it looks okay, right here. So yeah, this was I even have my trigger line here, downtrend line drawn. It got triggered. Yeah, so now it's above 50-day again, and earnings is out. So it looks like possible pullback is over, because this would have tripped a lot of stops for sure. And numbers look okay. 900% earnings from was it negative to 476. Wow, that's high. So yeah, so that could bounce back now, I think. So something to pay attention to. So anyhow, that group is moving. The other group that kind of, I don't know, like I was in it, AEM, NEM, WPM, all these gold stocks. They kind of, yeah, they haven't really done much. So let me see. Yeah, so you see, it's kind of pulling back. Nothing, like from a weekly perspective, it doesn't even look that much, right? But if you go to daily, still look okay, but it is pulling back. So so now it's at the 21-day, 10-day. So it's around that zone. It's trading really tight though still, and still above the breakout point. So yeah, so it lost its momentum, but it could gain it back. We'll see. But I don't like Friday's reversal. right there. So we'll see. So anyhow, that's the commodities group. Now we're gonna jump to the retail. So retail has about 7 stocks in the top 100 here. Yeah. So GTN in the media, Groupon, retail internet, HNI, household office furniture, APEI, consumer service education, ALSN, auto truck. This one just reported this week. SCBL, retail apparel. Again, another NTGE is in our education stock, and Dorm is auto truck replacement parts. So there's a few auto truck group parts here. GT is another one. So those are all related, right? And then we have education. So those are the other ones. Yeah. So most of these are probably small caps, but not a lot of strength in this group. And then last but not least, technology. There is some strength. You can see here in the top 100, not a lot as well, 6 stocks. So we have computer software education, Coursera. I think there was a big update, really jump along that earnings. Then we have some enterprise software in the smaller group guys, Bandwidth, AudioEye, Azure. Now let's take a quick look at those 3. And I think I own them. Yes, I do. So here's the 10-day slope. It's coming out of this base. It's trying to slowly moving up the right side. Yeah. So and then we have, was it AudioEye? Come back to AudioEye. So this was a nice big move on earnings here. It was 38. I really didn't. I was watching it in the morning. It was up 20-something%. It was nice cup and handle pattern. I was worried it will come back down. It never did. It kept going. So I missed this guy. So here's the run here. So it still look okay because it's still within the, now it's breakout. Right now it's above that. But this one is definitely a strong runner. You see I trade around there. Trade around here, didn't work. Now I missed this breakout. So yeah, it's part of the game. And then we have Azure, ASUR. Azure software. So this is also climbing the right side of the base. This breakout zone is right here. So that one's also moving up. So again, this is small cap here. CLBT, another software. Angie in the internet content. Tyler is also moving up, software group. So ServiceNow is the one big guy that reported so far on the software side and did good. Yeah, other than that, like way in the medical, this is an IPO stock. I tried, I got shaken out. So I'll show you my trade here. So here, yeah, so this is the breakout. I didn't buy on that day, and then we pull back Tuesday, Wednesday, bought on on Thursday, and then Friday I got shaken out because this was my trip right here. This was my when was 10-day moving average was, and this lowest, and it went way below that, and then it rebound, and I just never got back in. So we'll see what it looks good now, because anytime you see a huge rebound after a sharp drop, that's always just shaking out all the stops, right? All the weaker investors or short-term investors or trader, yeah, whatever you want to call. But the uptrend is really strong. It's more than 45-degree angle. So and this is in the medical equipment for software. So yeah, so that's something to watch, because this is IPO. Other than that, I mean, you do see some highlights here, HIMS, ALKT, but those didn't close. This one, HIMS make a new high on Friday, but then didn't close it. So this one, let's take a look at this one, because this one also has some news related to weight loss and in the past, and it's kind of related to that group. So we had this nice run, and I have lots of trades around this. Very hard stock to ride on, right? It just moves too much choppiness. And then again, same thing Friday. You see what happened? Like you thought it was going to move, and then it just chopped back up down, right? It's just very choppy stock to even hold. Like anyhow, but it has potential for sure. Frog, interesting. Frog is coming up. Smart, SEMrush. Spotify here hasn't closed at a high though. Then you have some of these other tech stocks here. But I know we always want to look for tech stocks because a lot of people are interested in them. Going down, you can see Google's near the bottom, ARM's near the bottom, ESTC, Microsoft, even Microsoft's at the bottom. And you can see the drops here. This is how much they have lost from July 3rd. Cloudflare. So yeah, so they're like a lot of them are over 10% drop. Yeah, there's ones that did well recently. GoDaddy also near the bottom now. Yeah, so I mean, we still the techs are still far away. We have MSI here in the telecom. CMD down here. Anyhow, just again, it's just not strong enough, the tech, right? But we have 6 stocks in the top 100. So that's the pretty much we look at most of the top 50 and even 100 lists. Thank you for watching this video. If you like any of this, please like it and subscribe if you want to get notifications and stuff. Thank you.